Good evening, viewers. You're watching To The Point. I'm Preeti Choudhary. So did Arvind Kejriwal mock Kashmiri Pandits? The BJP says yes. Primarily, the BJP is also quoting the interview that Arvind Kejriwal gave to Aaj Tak, where Arvind Kejriwal, in the interview he gave us yesterday, said very clearly that it was his government that made certain Kashmiri Pandits regular, who were temporary as teachers in the Delhi education department, and he made them permanent. It was his government that did so. But what did the BJP say? And the BJP today, in the light of Sambit Patra, hit out at the Aam Aadmi Party, saying that no, the Aam Aadmi Party never regularized, made these teachers, Kashmiri Pandit teachers, permanent, but were forced to do so with a Supreme Court order. Now, Sambit Patra said that Kejriwal only listened after he approached the Supreme Court, that after the High Court asked him to make the Kashmiri Pandit teachers permanent. On the other hand, the Aam Aadmi Party maintains that it was the Lieutenant Governor who was not interested in making these teachers permanent. So which one was it? What we are going to do right now, viewers, we're going to cut across to Rakesh Tikku. Who's Rakesh Tikku in all of this? Rakesh Tikku was the lawyer who represented the Kashmiri Pandit teachers' fight legally through the course of it all. Let's listen in.
अगस्त के आसपास सिसोदिया साहब ने एक रिटर्न निर्देश दिया था जब उनके पास कश्मीरी माइग्रेंट्स गए, सर हमें इतने साल हो गए लड़ते हुए, हमारा साथ इंसाफ कीजिए। उन्होंने रिटर्न निर्देश दिए कि जो जो अपील है सब विड्रॉ करो, इस ऑर्डर को इंप्लीमेंट करो। दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण जो सर्विस डिपार्टमेंट था, एलजी के अंडर आता है, उन्होंने इसको नहीं माना। उन्होंने इसकी एसएलपी की और कई महीने तक लड़ी। ऐसे लड़े कि एडिशनल सॉलिसिटर जनरल थी तब वहां पे, वो भी सरकार की तरफ से लड़ी, लेकिन सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने उनके ऑर्डर को अपहेल्ड किया, डिवीजन बेंच को, इनको न्याय मिला। तो ये कहना कि दिल्ली सरकार ने रोड़े अटकाए, ये रिकॉर्ड के कॉन्ट्ररी है।
All right, so who you just heard right now was Rakesh Tikku. He's the lawyer of the Kashmiri Pandit Association of Teachers who wanted to become permanent. And he says it was a fight between the LG and the Delhi government. The LG wasn't quite keen in making these teachers permanent. But we're going to cut across right now to our political panelists. Joining me is Saurabh Bhardwaj, National Spokesperson, Aam Aadmi Party. We'll soon be joined by Ashish Sood, Spokesperson, Bharatiya Janata Party, and Amit Raina, who's an activist. Ashish Sood is also now with us. Saurabh Bhardwaj, the BJP says that Arvind Kejriwal thinks that the film KashmirFiles, which depicts the plight of the Kashmiri Pandit, is a jhooti film, fake film. They're quoting what he said on the stage, on the assembly, in the state assembly in Vidhan Sabha. On the other hand, they are saying that you were forced by the High Court, by the Supreme Court, to make these teachers permanent.
Okay, so I think let's talk about their allegations. Arvind Kejriwal said it on the floor of the House that we were the ones who made these guest teachers who were Kashmiri migrants who were on contract basis, recruited way back in 1990s. And we were the elected government who basically regularized them. For last 25 years, they have been meeting central government, they have been meeting various governments who have ruled Delhi, but nobody did them justice. Now, what BJP said yesterday was, they brought in two things. One, they brought in a fake, fabricated letter of the Kashmiri Migrant Teachers Association stating that Kejriwal government did not help. It was the courts which helped. And it was basically the Kejriwal government which was appealing against the court orders in the higher courts, probably the double bench and in the Supreme Court. This is what was the allegation. Today, on the basis of evidence and documentary proofs, we did a press conference. We presented this evidence in front of the press, which is, one, the press note released by BJP yesterday was a fabricated document. The association today came on record. They gave a bite on the television channel. They released a press release saying that we never released that document and that person did not belong to our association. He's a fictitious character. So that fabricated press release was basically the handiwork of BJP. Second thing, what BJP said that the government of Delhi was basically forced by the court
Okay.
to regularize the teachers. Now, we presented the evidence that basically it was the Delhi's elected government which in 2017 brought in a cabinet note to regularize these Kashmiri teachers. Our advocates in High Court gave undertaking that we have brought in a policy and we want to regularize it. It is also on record. We have presented the note sheet signed by none other than our AG Anil Bejal, where he says that there is no provision of giving any special preference to these Kashmiri Pandits in the central government. So we cannot have any special privilege to these Kashmiri migrants in Delhi government. So he did not agree to the cabinet note, which was basically passed by the elected government. Instead, he changed the advocates which were there representing the elected government. He brought in his own advocates, who basically represent the service department, which is under AG, and they started challenging whatever Delhi government was doing. It was the AG, and it is on record.
Okay.
And it was the AG who said that we will challenge this regularization even in the Supreme Court. And who represented AG in the Supreme Court? It was Pinky Anand, who is basically the head of their legal cell, who represents BJP, who was the spokesperson. So basically, it was BJP and the BJP's AG who was challenging the regularization of these teachers. And yes, after the Supreme Court order, AG was forced to basically accept what the Delhi's elected government was saying. He has to accept it, and we were the ones who basically
all right, stay with me. Just stay with me, Saurabh. I want to bring in Ashish Sood. He is the Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson. He's also joining us. Ashish Sood, grave charges which are being leveled by the Aam Aadmi Party. They are saying you have forged documents.
There is a saying in Hindi, na khata na bahi, jo Aam Aadmi Party kahe wahi sahi. I don't understand. You are a witness to what they have been doing all these years since they came into power. Every single day, on every trivial issue or every small issue, where there is a difference between them and LG, when they want to take an excuse, they tweet everything. Where are those tweets? Saurabh Bhardwaj is not knowing the facts properly. It was Sri Madan Lal Khurana in 1993 when these exodus, the plight of these Kashmiri Pandits, Kashmiri Hindus started. These jobs were offered to them, which in the passage of time were not regularized. They say on May 18th, 2015, the single bench delivers. Agreed? May 2015, it was Aam Aadmi Party in power. They came to power in February 2015. It was, first of all, it was a single bench order to regularize them. It was not their move, their cabinet note. It was in 2015, it was a single bench order, not their cabinet note or something like that. Now, what they are trying to do is, they are trying to do the damage control of the mockery which Mr. Kejriwal has made of the plight, exodus, the ethnic cleansing, and also the because of the Islamic terrorism, Islamic terrorism from Kashmir. So they made a mockery of all these things. He called it a jhooti film. So they just want to divert the attention.
I want to ask you, sir, I want to ask you.
Just a minute.
Yes.
Let me make my point in 5 seconds. They just want to divert the whole discourse from a chief minister, a man on the constitutional position on the floor of the house, saying the exodus in Kashmir is a jhoota episode. So all this thing is, again, they are trying to make the mockery of the
Ashish Sood, sir, I want to ask you one quick question as I bring in our two other guests. Rakesh Tikku joins us. He was the lawyer who has fought the fight for the Kashmiri Pandit teachers who were wanting to be regularized. So he'll be able to give us a larger picture. Also joining me in the studio is Mr. Amit Raina. He's been extremely vocal where the plight of Kashmiri Pandits, his own community, is concerned. He's been an activist for many, many years. I'm going to cut across to the both of them. But Ashish Sood, I want to ask you very quickly if you can tell us, yes or no, did the LG say no to the regularization of Kashmiri Pandit teachers? Was it the LG who said no?
It can never... Look, LG is... The services, now they say, the services is the part of the Lieutenant Governor. If services is the part of the Lieutenant Governor, no goes in the credit of LG. What they do goes in their credit. What kind of logic is this? If the services is the part of LG, he can deny it, then the regularization credit should also be given to them. How can you distinguish? So this is all a fictitious argument created to just control the damage which has been done by this absurd statement of Mr. Kejriwal on the floor of the House. They are just
Sir, stay with me.
They are trying to change the discourse.
Sir, stay with me.
Saurabh Bhardwaj.
Yes.
You should ask Saurabh Bhardwaj.
Sir,
do they feel sorry for saying for what Mr. Kejriwal said on the floor?
Sir, we asked, you heard that, sir? We asked Mr. Kejriwal yesterday, sir. Sir, Ashish Sood, sir, yesterday we interviewed Arvind Kejriwal. We asked him there and then. And we've played that interview as well. It's not that we haven't asked. We've asked. But I want to bring in our other two guests very quickly. Rakesh Tikku. Sir, please, can I go to the other guest? Rakesh Tikku is with us. He was the lawyer, like I said, of the Kashmiri Pandit teachers who were wanting to be regularized. Rakesh Tikku, throw some light on what's the exact truth. Which government is to blame for what?
Good evening to all. First, let me clear one position. I am not concerned with the perceptual difference between the two parties, whether BJP or AAP. I have nothing to do with either the two. I can only give a factual narrative on the basis of record. Now, it is not fair in any kind of a adjudicated system to blame one person or institution. See, litigation in India as such has a history of being a prolonged. True that the Kashmiri migrants who came here in 1994, they were shown indulgence by getting them the temporary jobs, which continued. It was believed that all of them may probably go back. That didn't happen. So 2010, they approached the court, said, we want equality of our privileges as compared to other government teachers. This lot of representation went on. Ultimately, they knocked at the door of the court. The decision was given by single bench, as has been said by my other colleagues, Mr. Sood. That was 2015 May. Now, if one looked in retrospect, why was the appeal filed? Now, let me clear this position. Most of the common people and citizens would not know. In any system of adjudication, it's a multi-tier. The decisions are given based on certain reasoning. It appears that the service department of the Delhi government, which was under the office of LG, had a legal opinion based on a Supreme Court judgment of 2006 called State of Karnataka versus Uma Devi, as per which it was stated that no one should regularize the services of people who came to the job without their having qualification. Now, this was one of the view which was taken by the system. Based on the system's view, LPA were filed. LPA came to be dismissed in May 2018. Again, 2-3 years in any service matter, it does take in the High Court. But I wish if in 2015 itself, the matter would have been quietus. That did not happen. It is on record because 2018, there is a letter, it was filed on the record, written by the then Deputy Chief Minister, Mr. Sisodia, on August 2018, saying that whatever had been filed in the Supreme Court should be withdrawn. He directed the Education Department, but that did not happen. The appeal was pursued and they came to be dismissed somewhere in October 2018. Thereafter, the system got awakened, and after the judgment was given, orders are upheld, the Delhi government implemented it in due course, 5, 6, 7 months. So I am not getting into this, who's at fault, who is not at fault. This acquisition is in the political realm, and this is not part of my job to comment who's right. But yes, it did take a long time for that to get justice done. So for anyone to say that you are at fault, the system has its own pace. Governments come, keep on going. Political parties come, they keep on going. System has its own pace. But long and short is, der aaye durust aaye. Ultimately, they got the relief.
All right. Sir, stay with me because you've given a lot of clarity to a lot of people right now. But I want to bring in Amit Raina as well. So, Amit Raina, you've been the voice of Kashmiri Pandits on a lot of floors. You've been an activist. What is it that you feel hurt with what is ensued in the last 2-3 days?
I think the whole issue of Kejriwal versus Kashmiri Pandit started with him belittling the genocide that happened in Kashmir Valley. He laughing over the film. He laughing over the dead bodies of people who were killed in Kashmir. He laughing over the women's scores of women who were killed and raped. I think that is where it started. Then everyone found a way to retract and go into defensive. And this teacher issue was then brought in to claim that we were the people who gave justice. While the timelines are very clear, as Advocate Tikku rightly said, the timelines are very clear that it was ultimately the courts of this country which delivered justice. The other most important thing is that this film created a noise for justice for Kashmiri Pandits. And smartly, the politicians have taken the noise away from that because they know they will have to deliver justice. So they have now gone and created another narrative, which is now on the issues of teacher, issue which has long been resolved. The issue which is still pending, which is unresolved for last 32 years, which will be the first step towards the return of Kashmiri Pandits to the valley, is the matter of justice. And that is what governments of today should be working on.
All right, okay. Saurabh Bhardwaj, I'll bring you back into this conversation. We've spoken about the entire controversy which the BJP is attacking you. You and Atishi did that press conference today taking on the BJP about the teachers there. But that's been laid to rest. So yes, it's clear that it's really not that the Delhi government was trying to stall it. It's not that fact. But on the other hand, with what Amit Raina just said, was there an attempt to actually mock the Kashmiri Pandits on the floor of the Vidhan Sabha?
I think anybody who will listen to the entire speech of the Chief Minister, basically he was asking that why is it that the central government and the BJP's entire cadre is wanting Vivek Agnihotri to earn hundreds of crores. What Chief Minister said that if somebody is making 200 crores out of plight of Kashmiri Pandits, this 200 crores should be donated for rehabilitation of Kashmiri Pandits. And I think BJP still doesn't want that this money should go to Kashmiri Pandits because they know that Vivek Agnihotri is their supporter. If he is making money, it is basically BJP which is making money. I'll still expect Mr. Sood, if he will accept the fact that this money should go for the benefit of Kashmiri Pandits.
No, it should not. No, it should not.
I'll come back to you. Go ahead. Make your point, Mr. Bharadwaj.
Secondly, the letter which was presented by the BJP yesterday was fabricated. Today we have presented the association. They have come on camera and they have criticized the fabricated letter. Today the advocate of that association has come on camera and has put the record straight. Now will BJP apologize for the fabricated letter and for the delay which their LG caused to the cause of justice? Will they now apologize?
All right, okay, Saurabh Bhardwaj, stay with me. Ashish Sood, the letter was fabricated is again a charge that the Aam Aadmi Party is making.
So this is a clear lie. You asked a question to Mr. Saurabh Bhardwaj. Why did Kejriwal called it a jhoothi film? Saurabh Bhardwaj ji tried to, he not only tried, he evaded that question. He is again lying on the national TV. Play the Mr. Kejriwal's speech. He categorically said, ये झूठी फिल्म का प्रमोशन कर रहे हैं आप बीजेपी वाले. कौन सा सीन झूठा है? गिरजा टिक्कू की हत्या झूठी है? क्या झूठा है इसमें? सांड की आंख earned 69 crores. Why did Kejriwal made it a tax-free film? Did Kejriwal ask them to donate it for the betterment of people living in Jhuggi Jhopli in Delhi? What bullshit they are talking?
Okay.
He said it is a jhoothi film.
Okay, I'll go back with that question to Saurabh Bhardwaj, but I want to ask you that question again on the charge that the Aam Aadmi Party is saying that the letter is fabricated by the BJP.
No, this letter is not fabricated. you can see people from these associations on the various channels. I don't want to name the channels on your channel because I have
So,
seen
you know, the fact is, when you're saying it's not fabricated, the person we have on the channel, I would reckon all of us
But
will
there
understand
are
is the.
other
So let me
people.
finish.
Look,
Let me
there
finish.
are
The person
other
that we
people.
have
There are
on the
other people
channel,
also.
the
I
person
don't
that
want
we
to
have
go
on the
into-
channel, I would
don't want to
accept
go
all
into
of
the
us
debate
together
of-
will
Look.
accept him as an authority because he's the man who has
No,
fought the legal
just listen to
fight.
me. I
He's
don't
fought
want
the
to
legal
go
fight, sir.
into
I don't want to get
this
into
is
an
change of
argument with you.
narrative.
You've given
This
your
is
point.
change
You
of
asked a question to
narrative
Saurabh
blame
Bhardwaj,
Kejriwal
and I will
for
go
his-
back to Saurabh
his
Bhardwaj
absurd
on that
statement.
question. Can I only get
Why
Saurabh
would-
Bhardwaj? May I just get Saurabh Bhardwaj? Yes. Saurabh Bhardwaj, there's a question again that Mr. Sood put, and if you could, again tell me, was there an attempt to call the film Kashmir Files, which most Kashmiri Pandits are relating to, jhooti or propaganda?
Look, what the Chief Minister meant, and I think he has explained it in his two interviews. One is given to your channel, is that BJP is trying to get a political mileage out of the misery of Kashmiri Pandits. They are making money out of misery of Kashmiri Pandits. If they are so concerned for the plight of Kashmiri Pandits, they would not have their regularization till the Supreme Court. Second thing, they are still not agreeing to the fact that this 200 crore plus money should be donated for the benefit of Kashmiri Pandits. Why should that man called Vivek Agnihotri get away with 200 crores of money? It should go to Kashmiri Pandits, and why not it should go? Thirdly, if BJP is so wanting that everybody should watch this film, why don't you put this film on YouTube? Why don't you publish this film on Doordarshan? Every Indian will watch it. But the only problem is that you want Vivek Agnihotri to make crores of money because he is your man, because he is your party man, because he talks on Twitter.
Okay,
because
I want to go back to Rakesh Tikku as well as Amit Raina. Amit Raina has been, raising his hand. Amit Raina, you say yes, you don't want the money. The community doesn't want the money. But should the film be put on YouTube?
No, it should not be. Have you seen the Schindler's List on YouTube? He did his job. He made his, he invested money. He brought the story up front. The film industry has just revived from the 2 years of COVID hiatus. There has been immense losses. If film is helping today to industry to revive, if it is helping people to gain employment, if it is helping people to recover from their losses, you should be allowing that. And it is his investment. What he does with his money, it is his call. Had he made losses, would AAP compensated him for the losses? No. It is his money. He decides what he do with it. When 2,500 crores was made by Dangal, I don't remember Kejriwal telling Amir Khan, why don't you spend this money on promotion of wrestling in Haryana or rest of India? Why did he make that movie tax-free? Why did he make Swara Bhaskar's movie tax-free? What was so great about it? We are not even asking you to make a movie tax-free. But don't mock our exodus, don't mock our genocide, don't laugh like a demon over our exodus.
Can I want to go back to Rakesh. There's no point getting into the screaming match, sir. I'm hoping I've given all of you equal time. May I just go to Rakesh Tikku? I want to bring you in on this conversation again. There is a lot of talk right now on the fabrication of this letter, which blames the Aam Aadmi Party for stalling what is the regularization of the teachers in government Delhi schools. Correct? Do you think this letter is fabricated or do you think this letter is authentic?
Let me be clear. I have no clue what letter is being referred to.
All right, sir. Okay. Now, did the Aam Aadmi Party in any which way try to legally stall the regularization of Kashmiri Pandit teachers?
I must say this is very unfortunate that all the political parties are getting against each other. This is a case which was decided by the courts now 4 years back down the line. Where is the need of blaming one? You see, system doesn't work on individual faces. It is its own pace. Even if whichever government it is there of the day, whether it's a lieutenant governor or the elected government, they all work on legal advice. Legal advice could be faulty, could be correct, could be accepted or not. That's how it took time. And I don't think it is right to blame any of the parties for this. It is a system. On the contrary, yes, attempt was made by the Aam Aadmi Party's Deputy Chief Minister to prevent the filing of the SLP, which would have stayed another year. That's all. Right? But that was not accepted to by the LG's office, who has a final. See, let me clear it. Most of us have this misconception. Government, Delhi government means elected government. No. There are lots of areas which have been earmarked, which are exclusive domain of the Lieutenant Governor. The filing of the appeal, SLP, etc. was in the domain of the Service Department, and they did not accept the advice of
sir, may I just... All right, sir, may I'm sorry, you know, we're running like grossly short of time. I'm sorry, I actually cut you short and you were trying to explain, you know, legal jargon, which is jargon to most of us here, but appreciate you for joining us. I wish we had more time, but that's it. Appreciate you all for joining us. Up next is Shivarur.